It has not been an easy year for Lizzy Yarnold. An extremely challenging one. In fact, take as an example her description of a problem that has been bugging her on skeleton runs for the past few years and was diagnosed in the summer as a vestibular disorder in her inner ear. It is very awkward and very uncomfortable, but it doesn't happen often, she says. I might be traveling down a fast track like Whistler in Canada that I have gone down 6 times in a week and tens of times in my career. So I know what is coming, and what it is all about, how it goes, but when I am going down and getting maybe a bit faster and feeling more g-force, my vestibular issue clicks in, and I am disorientated. What happens is I know I am in a corner and I know that I am traveling around, but I can't necessarily pick up exactly what is going on, or I cannot pinpoint the finer details. It is just a disorientation of the brain and spatial awareness. The necessary context here is that the Olympic skeleton champion tends to reach speeds of about 90 miles per hour on the thinnest of sleds on a rapid ice chute. In a sport measured by the tiniest of margins and played out at the most absurd pace, the issue sounds mildly troubling at best. But with Yarnold landing in Pyeongchang on a mission to make history as Britain's first back-to-back Winter Olympic champion, her conviction is that it will not make the slightest difference. It is something I know how to deal with because the professor has told me what it is and how it will present itself and how to recover. It is not so much an issue now. I was diagnosed in March 2017. I had been suffering with it for a couple of years, but we eventually found out. I am in a really good place. It doesn't affect me at this track in Pyeongchang. Time will tell if that is bravado or a case of self-persuasion. It is equally unknown whether the issue has had a major impact on her form this season, which has been a shadow of her preparations for Sochi. When she dominated the World Cup season, when she got to Russia, she set track records on 2 of her 4 runs and won by a huge margin of 0.97 seconds. This time, by contrast, it has been a slog. She had just won podium in the 8 races of the World Cup season, at the opener in Lake Placid, USA, before a recovery of sorts in the final event in Königssee, Germany, in January, where she was 4th. It is perhaps indicative of the malaise that when UK Sport announced their Pyeongchang medal projections last month, skeleton, their best-funded sport, was told their target was only top 8. That would represent something of a soft goal for a reigning champion who believes her experience of top-level competition will put her in the mix for gold. I have never lost faith in myself, she says. I know I can do it. The competition is very tough, but I like going to a track and having a clean slate. This track does suit me and I know I can handle the expectation at home because no one pressures me more than I pressure myself. I will go through my routines and processes, step up to the start and do what I have done a lot of times before. The routine is an interesting one. It is a fascinating subplot of this speed-obsessed athlete that she is so sedate in person. Her hobby is cooking and she spent a sabbatical year after Sochi making lampshades. But there is a distinct moment of transformation before all her races. I have a ritual where I turn my head to the right to clip on my helmet and ask myself, do you really want to do it? If I leave, will anyone notice? I do that, then I look straight ahead and I completely commit and tell myself go for it. Your heart goes faster and your body actually feels ready for a fight almost. You feel so alert, but you have to control your nerves. After that, it is me and the track. It is something of an underdog status that Yarnold will take to South Korea. In addition to a new sled, the Green Machine, which has replaced the less dramatically named Mervin. It is nice and bright, she says. I want to make a statement, be an individual, different sled, different name. With any luck she can overcome the challenges and get the same result. Marcel Hirscher, Austria, alpine skiing, when Hirscher broke his ankle in a training accident back in August. His rivals thought they might have a chance to beat him for a change. But that wasn't going to stop the Austrians' pursuit of an elusive Olympic gold medal. Hirscher has won the World Cup for 6 consecutive years and has 6 World Championship medals in his collection. Winning gold in Korea would confirm his place among the greatest ever to take to the slopes. Lindsey Vonn, United States. Alpine skiing, Vonn shot to prominence by taking downhill gold in 2010. But injuries wrecked her dreams of competing in Sochi and have disrupted her stellar career ever since. "I'm not a very patient person. So 8 years has been a really long time," said the 33-year-old of her determination to win in Pyeongchang. With her advertising campaigns and massive social media followings, Vaughn is by far the most well-known skier on the planet. Literally a poster girl for the sport. Michael Kingsbury, Canada. Moguls, freestyle skiing is always a good watch at the Winter Olympics, and Kingsbury is pretty much the most accomplished of all time in the Moguls event. The Canadian has 47 World Cup victories on his CV and has been the overall champion for the last 6 years. Unbeaten in every event he's entered during this Olympic season, Kingsbury is odds-on favorite to upgrade the silver medal he won in Sochi. Shaun White, United States, snowboarding. Such was White's promise on the snowboard. He received his first sponsorship at the age of 7. Since then, the man from San Diego has won pretty much everything there is to win in the sport: 2 Olympic gold medals and a record 13 X Games golds, plus another 2 in skateboarding. His hopes of an Olympic hat trick were almost dashed in October when he needed surgery and 62 stitches after face-planting the rim of a 22-foot superpipe while training in New Zealand. But a perfect score of 100 in Olympic qualifying confirmed he is fit and ready again. Erik Frenzel, Germany. Nordic Combined. Nordic Combined features cross-country skiing and ski jumping, and there aren't many superior in both these challenging disciplines than Frenzel. World Cup champion for 5 consecutive years, a 12-time World Championship medalist and the reigning Olympic champion. The German is the one to beat. Frenzel's father started him skiing aged 2 and introduced him to the ski jumps age 6. So you could say this has been a lifetime's journey. Chen, United States. Figure skating. There are few Winter Olympic events so captivating and popular as the figure skating, and one of the competitors hoping to make themselves a household name is Chen. The 18-year-old underlined his promise by finishing 40 points ahead of his nearest rival at the U.S. Olympic trials, and Chen was the first skater to land 5 quadruple jumps in a routine. Chen isn't just talented on the ice, either. He plays piano, violin and guitar and has told Team USA he wants to go to medical school after the Olympics.